Man coaxed his wife into drinking a glass of milk laced with sleeping pills, planning to harvest her heart while she was unconscious, and secretly transplant it into his first love, who had been suffering from a congenital heart condition. Once everything was arranged, he ordered the doctors to begin the open-heart surgery on his ex. What he didn't know was, his wife had already uncovered his entire scheme. By the time he acted, she had fled the country with their son, using this cruel deception to take revenge on both the heartless man and the manipulative woman. It turns out that during their 3-year marriage, the man had repeatedly abandoned her and their ailing son for his ex. One day, the woman finally snapped. She decided to leave with her child once and for all, but on their way out, they were hit by a tragic car accident. She ended up in a coma with severe injuries, and their son tragically lost one of his eyes. The husband arrived at the hospital, begging on his knees, apologizing over and over, not wanting her son now blind in one eye to also grow up fatherless. The woman gave her husband one last chance. She'd give him a year to change, and for that entire year, the man seemed to transform. He showered both mother and child with love and care. The woman thought, maybe, they really could become a happy family again. Until one day, she accidentally overheard a conversation between her husband and a doctor. That car crash? It had been orchestrated by him, just so he could transplant their son's eye into the manipulative woman's child. Before she could even process the horror, she heard an even more chilling plan. He wanted to steal her heart next, to save that same woman. Only then did she realize, the sudden gifts, the sweet gestures, the tender words over the past year, had all been part of his scheme, to make her donate her heart willingly. Just then, her husband walked in. She wanted to slap him right then and there, but for the sake of revenge, she played dumb and casually asked if their son's prosthetic eye was functioning normally. That's when she saw her son being chased and bullied by another child. The other boy taunted him, calling his fake eye a monster's eye. Her son ran toward her, tears in his eyes. The husband stepped in, furious, until he saw who the bully was, the manipulative woman's child. Instantly, his anger vanished. He apologized to the boy, saying he didn't recognize him, and when his own son complained about the bullying, he scolded the boy instead, claiming he was overreacting. The wife snapped, accusing her husband of being blatantly biased. The scumbag defended himself, saying he was merely toughening up their son, because ridicule like this would follow him for life. That was the final straw. The woman knew it was time to leave this toxic man for good. That night, as she packed her things, the scumbag husband came home, with the manipulative woman and her child in tow. Watching that woman prance around like she owned the place, the wife's hatred reached its peak. Knowing this woman wanted her heart, she couldn't resist and slapped her across the face. But to her shock, the husband immediately slapped her back. He even yelled at her for hitting a sick patient, and stormed off, proudly carrying the woman in his arms. Back in the room, the manipulative woman clutched her chest, faking a heart episode. The man reassured her he'd scheduled a surgery for tomorrow. He would give her his wife's heart. What they didn't know was that the entire conversation had been caught on the wife's hidden surveillance system. So the next morning, she calmly drank the drugged milk her husband offered, and pretended to fall into a deep sleep, leading them to believe their plan had succeeded. The man then summoned his assistant to keep watch over her, while he took the other woman to the hospital for pre-op. But the moment he left, his wife opened her eyes. Soon after, the manipulative woman was wheeled into surgery, but the man kept waiting. His assistant never showed up with the heart. Time was running out. Without the heart, the woman on the table wouldn't survive the procedure. Just as panic set in, a courier arrived with an urgent package. Thinking it was the heart, the man rushed to open it, only to find a divorce agreement signed by his wife.